if I recall correctly, your dad mentioned that we are very much in alignment. I mean, what you're doing, saving and protecting the world and humanity, and I do that too. I don't do it with the technology that you use, but we are very much on the same page. Would you like to share what you do and how your EMF chips are special and how they are different from anything else in the world?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I wanted to start with explaining, kind of the problem, why we started. So our environment is becoming very harsh on the body, right?
Mm.
We're evolving really, really fast. In the last 15 years, from having no cell phones at home to having an average of 10 to 16 devices at home. Now, that produces a huge amount of EMFs or electromagnetic fields, and these are strong stressors on the body. Now, having one device wouldn't be the end of the world, but it's the cumulative effect. And that's what's happening in our environment right now, as it's just too much devices, too much radiation everywhere you go. And that's putting huge stresses on the body, had effects on your serotonin levels, your melatonin. So you lose energy through the day through this. You also, have sleep issues. A lot of people start having sleep issues. And all in all, it just stresses the body consistently. Now, we were able to create a device that, it doesn't block the radiation. What it does, it transforms the radiation into something that's more biocompatible with the body. Because there's no way of getting rid of the radiation. It's an electromagnetic field, but it doesn't mean it has to be bad for the body. You can use electromagnetic fields for the good if you restructure the informational field.
I'm using your chips since a while because your generous offer was highly appreciated, and I'm very, very content. And ever since, interestingly enough, my pain in my hands is gone because I'm writing a lot on my laptop, and I'm
Mhm.
using the laptop maybe on average 6 hours a day, and there's radiation, and I started feeling it in my hands, and it was painful. I woke up at night and I put all sort of copper sheets around my laptop that helped a little bit. But ever since I have your chip on it, I'm
Yeah,
good to go and I can play the piano again. And this is really lovely. So I
yeah,
truly
yeah, very
appreciate
nice.
the technology. And I'm certain there are thousands of people, if not millions of people, who notice the effect, but maybe they don't connect the dots, that they are not aware that it may be caused by the electromagnetic fields.
100%. So it's a very complicated subject because nowadays we have it's normal to have pain. It's normal to have inflammation in the body. It's become the norm, but it's not normal. We're not supposed to be in pain. We're not supposed to be suffering the whole time.
Yes, I agree.
But we've done some tests. This is actually from one of our clients. We had a client. He purchased the Vita Chip. He bought a whole system for the home, and he was skeptical. He's like, I don't know. He just never felt. He went to his doctor, and he had his blood tested, dark field microscope testing, to see what had happens when he uses 30 minutes of his cell phone. Now, the doctor noticed that the red blood cells were completely clumped together when he was using a regular phone. And what that means is it slows down the circulation in the body. And what happens when there's no circulation? Inflammation can set in. I mean, the key to getting rid of inflammation in the joints, tendons, and nerves is all circulation, just like
Yes,
physical therapy. You want to get
yes.
circulation happy, going through the body healthy. Now, when he did the same test with the Vita chip, and the red blood cells were absolutely perfect.
Ha
the,
ha
doc-
ha.
the doctor's like, huh. So what that means is, if your body's functioning properly, and it can deal with the inflammation. So for arthritis pain, it can help reduce the lactic acid in the body. And that's all what your body's designed to do through homeostasis. But through the years of just being mutilated on a cellular level from radiation, our bodies are, they're completely stressed out. They they
Yeah.
they they can't really repair themselves because they're consistently, like, imagine being, attacked by a swarm of bees everywhere. That's what we're going through the electromagnetic fields in the body, just on a little more subtle level, but it is consistent and consistent. Our body starts to turn off, and we don't even notice, a lot of things. A lot of the time we shut off. So yeah, for any kind of joint pain and stuff, it's amazing that it actually correlates to a lot of the times to the environment we're in through the electromagnetic fields and the stress that's been put on the body.
Amazing. I wonder if you are allowed to speak about that one particular car manufacturer who who I heard an amazing story about. And can you speak about that, or is there an NDA in place? You see that I speak about it without calling the name, so that I'm not trying to put anyone into
we don't like to
trouble.
call out, so we don't like to call out names, but I think
Yes.
everybody might know what we're talking about.
Yes, but
Yeah.
can you share what happened there when actually the engineers were shocked by, oh wow, how unhealthy the cars are that they are manufacturing?
Yeah, so we did some testing on a Swiss TV station, and we tested out some different types of electric cars.
Mm-hmm.
And we did this with a biofeedback scan. We did a before and after. So we drove the car for 60 minutes, having just regular driving through the city, no Vita chips in place, and biologically the body wasn't doing well. I mean, like they were really in a lot of stress, energetically. We can measure every single organ inside the body, and the overall age was 5 years older biologically before when we tested the person with regular car. And then we tested the same thing with the Vita system car. So we attached Vita chips in the whole car around, we took the same test drive, and after 60 minutes, the person was 15 years biologically younger than before. The body was working way better. There was less stress levels, less cortisol levels, way better. So it's funny, you can really transform these EMFs into, something that's going to actually impact the body in a good way. And that's the whole concept behind our products.
Fabulous, fabulous. And I was so stunned when I first heard this story that I said, wow, the engineers must be shocked because they created a monster by
Yeah.
wanting to doing something good, and it kicked back and it fired backwards, and it's really harmful for the body. And most drivers, most motorists, they think they're doing something good for the environment and harm at the same time their own body, jeopardizing their own health without knowing. Now, how can we share? Where can we find some tests? Where are the numbers? How can we provide some information that our listeners and our viewers that are hearing this maybe for the first time, where can they read up on that? Are there some links that we can link below this video?
Yeah, 100%. We have all the studies on our website, VitaChipUS.com. We have all the studies on there, a whole bunch of information, a lot of good reviews. We have all the information in there.
Super, super. Now I have one more question. How is your VitaChip different from all the others that pretend we're doing this, we're doing that? Because I heard that what you're doing is patented, if I'm not mistaken, so that you have something very special.
Yes, yeah, we have a copyright on it. And now a lot of people claim they claim they block radiation. They say we're a radiation blocker. You put this on the phone, the radiation's gone. I've even seen videos where people hold up an EMF meter to the device, put on some type of sticker, and suddenly there's no more radiation. A lot of the times you can see when they do that, they have their hand between the phone. So they're actually, they're absorbing the radiation with their hand, and then the EMF meter goes to zero. Anyone that claims, unless there is like, let's say, purses, right? There is fabrics that you can put your phone in, it won't have service, it won't work, and that will block the radiation. That is possible. But putting some type of chip or sticker onto a phone is not possible to block the radiation, but it can alter the electromagnetic fields. And that's what we do. So we just restructure them. And you can see, for example, on one of our studies, we did water crystalline structure. We took water, put it in front of a cell phone, froze that water, and seen what the crystal structure came out to be. And when we just had the regular phone, super messed up structure, really.
Yes.
Really bad looking. We added the Vita chip, did the same test on the water, froze the water, and it came out to a beautiful structured crystal. So we, basically we just restructured the electromagnetic field, giving the informational field to the body that is going to benefit the body.
That is fabulous. Well, I wonder, how can we get these devices? And let's say somebody is building a new restaurant because they try to do good. They want to nurture and nourish and feed the people and give great experiences. And I was just in a restaurant the other day and it was lovely. And then I was thinking to myself, if I were to design a restaurant right now, I would have your chips all over the place, because when I have 100 guests and everyone, let's say, has a cell phone, or some people even two, but let's say 100 guests come in, 80 new cell phones in the field. I want that people still have a stress lessening experience.
Yeah.
So how do we go about that? How many would it need? Is it by square foot? Is it by height? Is it by cubic feet? Or how do you measure that?
So we usually go by devices. So we usually recommend one Vita chip per device. We do have a lot of partnerships. So I don't know if you've heard of it, Hotel Schindlerhof in Nuremberg, Germany. It's a very high end. They hold a lot of conventions there, and they hold a lot of ways to better the people. They have a lot of seminars and stuff there. And it's a very spiritual hotel, very great location, very good energy there. But, since they had, in today's day and age, they had to add Wi-Fi to all the rooms. They had to have beamers and all this other stuff. And they started to notice that the environment was becoming a little more stressful. And so we actually created a partnership with them. And we put our Vita chips on every single device in their hotel, for the conference rooms. And they said the energy has changed tremendously, really made a big difference, a big impact on them. And, we're always looking to partner up with more locations like that to, help them out in a bigger, more special way, to get, the clients to be able to grow more. Because if you're under stress, it's hard to grow. It's hard
and
to.
Clearly, when the body's in stress, and which we are, and the specific level of stress is good because it helps us do things and get things done. But when we're consistently on a high level of cortisols and maybe even adrenaline, then our reptilian brain switches on, and then we cannot think realistically and creatively and logically, and that impacts our productivity. So everything is linked together with everything. So how can we make this more mainstream, that people will know of the dangers and see the solution? Because the danger is there, undoubtedly. Yeah. Even the cell phone carriers are very much aware of the negative impact on the body, and nevertheless they just produce, and then they shift, and then there comes another G to the already existing G. So how can we help people to, hey, wow, this is my body, my health, and this is my home for this life? Because that's the case. You have a life sentence with yourself, so you better make it a better experience. So how can we go about it to inform more people about this danger, and that you have the solution?
I think there's a big shift happening right now. I've noticed a lot of people, and the mainstream media is also opening up. For example, France just banned the iPhone 12. completely banning it from France. That's made headline news all around the world. So I think there's a big shift happening. Also, I mean, you can see just in the general media now that it's starting to come up, and it's really, really important. But I think it's gonna I think it's gonna happen naturally, because we're in a point where if you don't do something to protect yourself from the environment, people are gonna start to notice.
Yes.
It's just a matter of time but I think we're right on the right track. It's been definitely emerging into the mainstream media.
Super. Well, you have a fan in me. I'm your fan, and I'm a fan of your chips. And this is amazing. And I wish I would have had one when I tried to test out a different internet service with a hotspot. And
Mm.
guess what happened? So I installed this hotspot, and I didn't notice why it was happening, what happened. I had very, very bad sleep, which is absolutely unusual to me. And I felt so sick. I called my doctor in Europe, and she's a good friend of mine. And I said, look, I think something's really bad happening here with me. Can you help me? She said, Daisy, when you feel so bad, you must go and see a doctor here. Guess what? I speak to my son, and he says, Mom, pull out that hotspot. Guess what? I pull out that hotspot. I slept well. The next day I felt again myself. So
Wow.
had I known that you have these chips, that was before I met your father,
Mhm.
and had I known, then maybe we would have gotten along, the hotspot and I.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I agree, and I admit that I'm very sensitive to radiation. I'm very sensitive to sounds and light and geographics and fields, and I notice much more than maybe the average human does, because I focus and I trained myself to be more sensitive to that over the decades. But I wish that more people would know it. As we speak, the hotspots in the homes become more and more fashionable, because it brings Wi-Fi to areas where there is no cable, and where there is no, how you call these, the glass fiber and the towers. And
The
so
fiber optics, the
that's
fiber
what I mean. Thank
towers.
you.
And we're also getting to Starlink now. Now we have internet from the satellites anywhere in the world.
It's 360,
Yeah.
3G. Yeah, I get it. Not 360, 3D. Yeah, from
Yeah.
all around. Yes, yes, yes. Well, it is a pleasure speaking with you, and I will continue speaking with you, because now you inspired me, and all sort of thoughts will come up, and all the question marks, I will jot them down, and then I invite you again, and let's continue talking, because I'm
Perfect.
fascinating that you have the solution that we all need. Thank you so
Yeah.
very much, David. I
I also
appreciate you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I wanted to add into now we haven't come out in the United States with this, but just as a little teaser, maybe for another show, we could
Please.
talk about this. We also created devices that are more punctual. They're designed to be placed directly on the body. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so it's going to be a little device that you place on the pain points, and just like the beamer, you're going to be consistently getting these frequencies. So we've also developed them for the body now, and it's been really amazing technology that we've seen a lot of people really helps them with joint pain and etc. like that. But we're going to go cover this in another episode.
Yeah, please, let's do that. And thank you so much for your time and sharing so amazingly openly that you have the solution. I truly appreciate, David. Talk soon.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.